So, the premise of this video is simple. Today we take all the species of the Ultimate Hunting Southern African map and we put them into a tier list. Let's bring up the tier list. Now I know at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Now to make this a bit simpler for myself, I thought I'm just going to draw up a quick checklist for each species. And as you can see, we've got 4 categories: iconic, uniqueness, difficulty, and the excitement. Iconic basically means how iconic is a species to Africa. When you think of Africa, do you think of the species? Uniqueness basically refers to how many other games has this species or something very similar appeared in. Difficulty is obviously how difficult it is to hunt the animal, not necessarily danger, but danger can also influence the decision. And then you've got excitement. This is basically how excited am I to see this species in the game. Each one will be scored out of 5, so let's get started. First off, the black-backed jackal. How iconic is the black-backed jackal? I'll be 100% honest with you, I do not think that very many people think of a jackal the moment they think of Africa. It's probably number 15 or 20 on the list if they had to list African animals, but it's definitely not near the top. So as far as iconic goes, I'm going to give it a 2. Uniqueness. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of another game that's had a black-backed jackal in it. However, a lot of games have had jackal-like species in them. And then obviously we know of one game that had the side-striped jackal. So as far as uniqueness goes, I'm going to give it a 3. Difficulty. This one's a little bit tricky because at the right time of day, at the right locations, it's not difficult to hunt jackal. However, if you are just hunting jackal and you haven't got the perfect location, you could very well be working your butt off to get a jackal. So for difficulty, I'm going to give it a 4. Then my excitement to see jackal in the game. And here I'm just going to cut to the chase. My excitement is a 2. I don't see myself going out and actively hunting jackal in the game. So, where does it land on the tier list? It's going to have to be a C tier. There's just no other option. Next, let's move on to the blue wildebeest. Iconic status, I would definitely give it a 4. A lot of people think of the Masai Mara and the wildebeest migrations when they think of Africa, so it's definitely got to get a 4. Uniqueness, it's appeared in a lot of games, so it's going to have to be a 1 as far as uniqueness goes. Difficulty is a tough one to decide as well. Ultimately, I'd have to say it falls right in the middle of difficulty. If you want to shoot a specific wildebeest and it's in a massive herd, it could be difficult to get to that one. So I'm going to have to chuck it right in the middle. Give it a 3. My excitement, I'm going to have to give it a 2. And where does it land on the tier list? I'm going to have to chuck it on C tier again. Then we get on to the savannah hare. How iconic is it? It's not. I don't think anybody thinks of hare when they think of Africa, so that'll have to get a 1. Uniqueness, rabbits and rabbit-like species have been in multiple hunting games, so that's going to have to get a 2. Difficulty, I'll have to give it a 3. Because once again, time of day plays a massive part as well as location. They are small, they can hide easily. Yeah, it's going to have to be a 3. My excitement is a 2. I'm not very excited for rabbits. As for where I'm going to put it on the tier list, it'll have to go into D tier. I'm just not hyped enough for any rabbit or hare to stick it higher than D tier. Now, lion. Iconic status has got to be a 5. It just cannot be anything other than a 5. Uniqueness, I'm afraid it'll have to be a 2. It's appeared in so many different hunting games that it cannot be higher than a 2, unfortunately. Difficulty, a lot of people might think that this is a bit controversial, but lion are not that difficult to hunt. If you pick your time of day and location, like with anything else, they're not that difficult to hunt. But given the fact that they do move in prides and that they are a dangerous species, I'll have to give it a 4. And my excitement for it, I will have to give it a 4 as well. And the reason it's only a 4 is because it's been in so many different games. And on the tier list, lion has got to be A tier. Now, the Cape buffalo, the Black Death. Bum bum bum. Iconic status has to be a 5. I do not know of a single big game hunter that comes to Africa without the dream of hunting a buffalo. Uniqueness, very much like the lion, is a 2. It's just been in too many different games. Difficulty, again, I'm going to have to put it at a 4. It's got the reputation of being extremely dangerous, which it can be if you do not shoot it properly. A proper shot and the threat is gone. A wounded buffalo is the most dangerous, so just make sure you don't wound it. So difficulty 4, and then my excitement for buffalo is a 3. It's just been in too many other games for me to be very excited for it. So on the tier list, it is going to be a B tier. Now, the Greater Kudu. Iconic status is a 4, definitely a 4. Uniqueness, I do know that it's appeared in a few games, however not recently. There is one game that's got a Greater Kudu-like species, so I'm going to be deducting a point for that, but ultimately I will give it a 4 under uniqueness. Difficulty, I'm going to put it at a 3. Kudu can be extremely difficult to hunt. Their sense of smell and hearing are phenomenal. However, a person that knows how to hunt kudu don't find it difficult at all. So I'll have to average it out with a 3. And my excitement, I am very excited for kudu. My excitement's a 4. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be a B tier. It is just not legendary enough of a species to go into A. Now we get on to giraffe. Iconic, absolutely, that's a 5. Uniqueness has got to be a 5 as well. Off the top of my head, I can't remember hunting giraffe in any other game. I haven't played all the hunting games, however, I can't remember playing one that had them, so that's got to be a 5. Difficulty for giraffe, I'm going to have to put it at a 3. In vast open areas, it could be difficult because they can see you from a mile away, and giraffe are normally surrounded by other species like zebra. But if you manage to find cover and sneak up on a giraffe, it's not that difficult to hunt. So it's got to be a 3. My excitement for giraffe, it's a 5. I've got to see giraffe in this game. I am just so excited for this. I just want to see something this big in a game. So giraffe, 5, and let's not beat around the bush. Giraffe gets S tier. There's just nowhere else to put it. Then we get to zebra. Iconic, definitely 5. Uniqueness, I'm going to put it at a 5 as well, very much like the giraffe. I cannot recall a game that I've had to hunt them. Difficulty, I am going to put it at a 3. And the reason that they are a 3 and not lower is because of the fact that they move in herds, and if they're standing together, it really bamboozles your eyes, and to try and pick out one solitary zebra to shoot in that sea of stripes can be difficult. So I'm going to put that at a 3. My excitement for zebra has got to be a 3. It's an iconic species, it's unique, but I just don't have the excitement for zebra that I've got for giraffe. So zebra is going to have to go into A tier. Now the hippopotamus. Iconic is a 5, definitely a 5. Uniqueness, again, I cannot remember a game that has got hippo in it, so that's got to be a 5 as well. Difficulty, I'm going to put it at a 3. Very much like lion and jackal, right time, right place, and hippo will not be difficult to hunt. And my excitement, I would say my excitement is at a 4, absolutely. And I'm going to have to put hippo in A tier. Now let's get on to the warthog. Iconic status of a warthog has got to be a 4. Might not be one of the first species that you think of, but is definitely up there. Uniqueness, I'll have to put uniqueness at a 2. Difficulty, again, warthog are not super difficult to hunt. However, their size and the terrain they inhabit, they definitely are not super easy to hunt. So difficulty, I'll have to give them a 3. And my excitement for the warthog, it was just ruined in a different hunting game for me. Unfortunately, it'll have to be a 2. And that means I'm going to have to stick warthog as a C tier. Now, onto the ground squirrel. Iconic status of the ground squirrel will have to be a 1. Uniqueness, I'm going to give it a 4. Somewhere in the back of my mind I can recall a hunting game where squirrels were hunted, but I can't remember the name of the game, so just because of that I'm going to give it a 4. Difficulty, it's not difficult, let's be honest. They're a diurnal squirrel species, they live on the ground, just too easy to hunt, gets a 1. And my excitement for squirrel, I'm not excited about extremely small games, so that'll have to be a 1 as well. And that means that squirrel is our very first species in the F tier. Now, the guinea fowl. Iconic, I would give it a 2. For people from Africa, the guinea fowl is definitely iconic, but for other people from outside Africa, it's definitely not one of the first species they think of. So I think 2 is fair. Uniqueness, I'm going to give it a 3 for uniqueness. I can't recall a hunting game that guinea fowl was in. However, there is a lot of terrestrial bird species in hunting games, and it's not that different hunting guinea fowl to those species. So just to be fair, I'm going to stick it right in the middle with a 3. Difficulty, it's not difficult to hunt guinea fowl. I'm going to give it a 1. And my excitement for guinea fowl, I would say is a 2. Meaning guinea fowl falls right on the D tier list. Then we get to the white-faced whistling duck. As far as iconic status goes, I'm going to give it a 2, very much like any file. Uniqueness, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not into duck hunting. I'm going to lump all ducks together, basically, unless they are something truly unique, which this is not. So uniqueness is going to be a 1. Difficulty, I'm going to put it at a 1. You might roll your eyes thinking, but you just said you don't duck hunt, so how can you give it a 1? I can walk 5 minutes down the road from where I stay right now, and there's a pond full of white-faced whistling ducks. So yeah, it's not difficult. And my excitement obviously is a 1, meaning the white-faced whistling duck is our second species in the F tier. Now let's talk about the Chacma baboon. Iconic status, that's a 5. Baboon is definitely a species that a lot of people think about. Uniqueness, I don't know of any game that has had a baboon in it, so I'm going to give it a 5. Difficulty, I'm going to say a 4 for difficulty. And the main reason is their eyesight is phenomenal, and they've always got sentries sitting around so they can spot you from a mile away. So to get close enough to a baboon or to sneak up to baboons and shoot a trophy male is not the easiest thing in the world. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a 4. And my excitement's a 5. I want to see how they climb trees and scale cliff faces. I want to see their movement, the way they eat. Baboon are our second S tier species. No doubt about it. Now, the Nile crocodile. Iconic, I would say, is a 4. Not one of the first species you think about, but not far from the top. Uniqueness, I'll have to give it a 3. Even though Ultimate Hunting were the first ones to announce that they were going to have crocs in the game, they were not the first to actually put crocs in the game, so I think 3 is fair. When it comes to difficulty hunting crocodile, I'll give it a 4. And it's not because crocodile are specifically difficult to hunt. Again, time of day and location. However, for a majority of the day, you're going to struggle. So I think 4 is fair for that. My excitement for croc is unfortunately a 2. It's not going to be something that I can see myself hunting actively in the game. So crocodile is going to have to be C tier. Now, the rock hyrax. Iconic, very much like jackal, I would say they're a 2. Uniqueness, I'm going to say is a 3. And the reason for the 3 is, even though it is a completely different species, their behavior is not dissimilar to rabbits. I don't see the mechanics of the game allowing for them to be completely different. Difficulty to hunt. The biggest issue is they've got fantastic eyesight, and their habitat makes it extremely difficult to hunt them. And then if you shoot it, to retrieve it is also an issue. I wouldn't say it's difficult, it's just challenging. So a 2. And my excitement's a 4. I want to see how the mechanics work in the game. I'm quite excited. However, I'm going to have to put it at a D tier. Even though I'm going to go out and hunt them a couple of times, I don't see myself going and hunting them on a regular basis in game. So it'll have to be a D tier. And then we get to the last species, the African elephant. And here's a challenge for you. Pause the video and let me know what you predict I'm going to rank it at. But let's get into it. Iconic status is a 5. There's no arguing with the fact that elephant is a level 5 iconic species. Uniqueness, I do know it has been in other games in the past. However, I'm prepared to give it a pass on that because of the fact that you have got a modern game that's coming out with elephant. So uniqueness is going to be a 5. Difficulty, elephant are not the most difficult species in the world to hunt. There are obviously a lot of factors around it and every hunt is different. However, generally I would say elephant hunting is a level 3. It's not as difficult to hunt elephant as it is to hunt buffalo or lion. And then my excitement to see them in the game. Yeah, I've got absolutely no excitement. So I'm going to have to give it a 1, meaning that elephant is another F tier species. Nah, I'm just kidding, just pulling your leg. My excitement is at a 5, and let's be honest, elephant is an S tier species all the way. So folks, here is the completed tier list. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. I'm definitely going to be doing another one of these for the California map. So here's a challenge for you. Over on my Discord, I'm going to have all the assets available that I used in my videos. So if you want to make your own tier list and post it in my Discord, then you are more than welcome to. And why not challenge your favorite hunting game content creator and ask them to make a tier list? And let's see how it goes. But thank you so very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.